Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another weekly chart breakdown. As always, we start off on GBPJPY and we start off on the weekly time frame. So looking at GJ overall, price has been in a bearish trend on the weekly time frame, but at the same time we can see that price has been respecting this major weekly support here, but also respecting this major weekly resistance over here, meaning that price is currently in this consolidation range. And then coming down into the daily time frame, we can also see that price has been rejecting this support here time and time again. So that means that price cannot break under this major support here, indicating that this could be a potential indicator that we could see bulls coming into the market. So now coming down into the 4-hour time frame, basically how you can trade consolidation is once price comes back down into your support, you could look to take a bounce play up into the previous highs or maybe into these highs over here, or we could wait for price to reach this resistance range and then take sells to the downside as a target 1 or maybe second target over here. But overall, if you want to be on the safer side, I would highly recommend to wait for a breakout either to the upside or to the downside. Ultimately, waiting for a breakout to the upside with higher probability in buys. We need to wait for a break and closure above this daily resistance here, wait for a pullback, and then wait for a nice entry signal to take buys up into these highs here. If you want to take sells, you want to wait for a break under this major support here. So we want to wait for a break and a retest to the downside right here into this next daily zone or support area that we have marked off here. Now, like I said, if you're looking to trade in between this range, then just wait for price to come either into resistance or wait for price to come back into support and then see what price would like to do in this area here. So overall on GJ, it's difficult to say in which direction we could see the market going, but looking at the daily time frame and this amount of rejections that we're getting, I am kind of bullish biased on GJ as of right now, but of course that can always change, so we just have to react and adapt and see what the market would like to do. Alright, so now coming to GBPUSD, also on the weekly time frame, we see this huge bearish momentum since various weeks, and the last weekly candle closed in a form of a doji candle or indecision candle, but also creating new lower lows and a new lower high. So we have this lower low here and we have a new lower high here because it is lower than this last high here. So then coming down into the daily time frame, we do see a form of a rejection based off this major support here in this range here, a bunch of rejection candles, and the last daily candle did close in a bullish hammer candle. So coming down into the 4-hour time frame now, ultimately this is also very similar to GJ. We are currently like in this range, kind of consolidating, but overall, since the market structure overall is bearish, I would mainly only be looking for sells. So potential areas to look for sells will be a minor pullback into this 4-hour resistance. As we can see here, we have resistance, support. So we can wait for price to reach this range and maybe give us some form of a rejection to take sells back down into these lows here, or we can wait for a steeper pullback into this daily resistance range here and then see what price will like to do and take sells into these lows here, or maybe even back down into this major support here. Now, if you want to be on the safer side and wait for clear market structure to be formed, you want to wait for a break and retest under this support here to take sells back down into this range. Or if you're looking for buys, you want to wait for a break above these highs, closure above, pullback, and then take buys up into this first resistance here or into this daily resistance all the way up here. So overall on GU, I'm pretty bearish biased still because the overall market structure is still bearish. But if we should get this break and closure above and a retest, then I will be switching my bias to bullish for the week. Okay, so now coming to gold dollar, I mean here it is very obvious that we were in a bearish trend, as you can see here, and now with the last 2 weekly candles we just had a major amount of bullish volume in the market. The first weekly candle right here just literally closed back above all of this previous market structure here, and now the last weekly candle did the same thing with we just closed above like all of this market structure here. So that indicates that the buyers are very much in control, and we should mainly only be looking for buys. So coming down into the daily time frame, we have pure bullish volume here as well. We never really got a steeper form of a pullback. So coming into this week, we could expect some form of a steeper pullback before continuing the overall bullish trend, meaning that coming down into the 4-hour time frame, ultimately the areas where you could take potential of buys First scenario will be a break and retest above this current highs right here. But as of right now, price seems to be respecting and rejecting this resistance. But if we should get a closure above, a break above, we want to wait for the closure. We want to wait for a pullback to then take bias up into these new highs over here. And we could also wait for a pullback into this support, because at the same time, as you can see, price has rejected time and time again this support, so it cannot break back under here. So if price decides to come back down into the support here, you could also take potential of a bounce play to take bias up into this previous highs here. If you're looking to sell, I would definitely wait for a closure back under resistance, wait for a minor pullback to then take sales back down into the support here, but with a low or medium probability, because we do need to keep in mind that the overall trend is very bullish and we have a lot of bullish volume. So once price comes back down, or if price should come back down into this support here on the daily time frame, we could definitely see a continuation in the overall bullish trend as well. So yeah, my BS on gold, very, very bullish, and we'll see what next week will like to bring. And that's it for the weekly chart breakdown, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.